Thank you to my channel members and Ko-fi supporters that make these videos possible. Hello everyone! With MagicCon Vegas coming soon, I figured I'd talk about conventions. This video is going to be two-pronged. First half being what to prepare if you're not experienced with congoing, and second half being more friendly to those without plans for attending a MagicCon. As Trinket Mage and I will get a little anecdotal and share some experiences with conventions in the past for you to enjoy, and to hear a little bit about the experience. Introduction out of the way, let's talk about what you need to have in mind before going to your first convention. Most important is budget. You don't want to buy your tickets and, surprise, you don't have enough money to actually get there and survive for the next 3 days. In my case, I have relatives in Vegas, so transport and lodging was free, and the flight was only $100 through one of the cheaper airlines. This is a pretty privileged position though, so for me, what was around a $200 trip would have probably cost closer to $600 for someone without those luxuries. A good way to reduce the cost of this trip as a whole is by reaching out to friends who could split the room with you. Though you might want to cap out at 2 or maybe 3 people if you're looking to play Commander at a convention, since if you bring 4, you'll have a bit of a funny situation if you all intend on hanging out, since you're not going to really have room in your pod to meet new people. Another thing to think about is food. Of course, that will be in part budgeting, but in my experience at least, at the Vegas Convention Center, food areas are generally overpriced. There's a McDonald's a few blocks up from the convention center, but Vegas isn't really a walkable city, so the $8 or so discount on a burger there versus the food court ends up feeling not totally worth it. You should basically always be packing some snacks as well for each day. Rest is another important thing for conventions. You should try to get some sleep so you're not exhausted. Things tended to slow down around 9 or 10 every night, so that seems like a good time to wind down each of the days. You could pull 3 all-nighters if you wanted to be miserable, but you should know, sleep is very important. Alright, all the advice so far could be applied to any trip or convention. What should you know specifically about MagicCon? Well, if it's anything like last year, here's what you should know. If you didn't register before the badge mailing date and got your badge shipped to you, you can pick it up near the entrance and activate it online. The line, from my experience, was very short, so don't stress about that shipping window. Besides, you need to wait in that line to collect your goodies anyway. This year, it's a cool promo counterspell. There are vendors everywhere on the con floor, and you will be tempted by something, so make sure you pack some extra spending money. There is a giant zone for free play Commander, which is 100% free entry. There are con employees that will walk around matchmaking for tables who will come up to you if you're carousing the area, and they'll ask what kind of game you're looking for, casual or competitive, and they'll lead you to a table of that kind. There are also limited events, 60-card constructed events, and some more wackier stuff too, but these events are typically paid and some of them are reservation only. There's an area called the Art of Magic that has a ton of different artists for the game there. You can buy artist proofs directly from your favorite painters, or have them sign your cards. Prints and even originals are sold as well, which is super cool to see. Lastly, and this is pretty important, they'll unfortunately have an app, which will have a daily itinerary, including for the reveal panels. Though, besides badge activation, you might not be using it much besides the map of the convention center. That was a lot. Well, why would you want to attend a con? Or maybe you're curious about what the experience is like. Well, for that, we should probably hear some first-hand experiences. So, Trinket, tell me about your convention experience.
Yes, I've been to quite a few, actually, because I started playing in, high school, and I've just been, going to events since. I think the first one was, Grand Prix DC 2014, I want to say.
Yeah, and how was that?
I don't even think I owned a Commander deck at the time. Honestly, I was so new to the game. And so the great part about Grand Prix back before we had Magic Fest is they were free. So my buddy and I, we could just go in for free. You didn't have to pay an entry fee ticket. It was all about the main event, so we would just go check it out and go to vendors and stuff. It was really cool. That's actually where I bought my copy of Mina and Den, which is one of my oldest Commander decks, because I found a Japanese foil copy in the bargain bin for $1, and I've just had the card ever since.
Do you still have Mina and Den together?
Yeah. I don't play it too much because it's actually one of my most powerful EDH decks, so it's a bit of like a pub stompy list if I was gonna play it against precons.
Any highlights from conventions?
Ooh, highlights. I mean, honestly, one of my favorite things is playing Commander against like random people that I'll never see again. Since it's not, so and so at your local game store, it's not someone in your friend group, like it's somebody totally different you normally would have never gotten to play against. And I think that's kind of special and fun. Individual highlights, I do have a signed fake Black Lotus that I got signed by Mark Rosewater,
Ooh.
which was pretty funny. I did that at Magic 30, and after I said, "Can you sign my Black Lotus?" I'll send you a picture of this so you can put it in the video. And it's a planes with like Sharpie on it. And he was like, "Yeah, definitely." And then when I showed him that, he looked so disappointed that it wasn't a real Black Lotus. He signed it and he's like, "I'm done with signatures for today," and I think he like left. So maybe that was a highlight. I don't know. It was kind of funny.
Out of all the conventions you went to, which one was like your favorite of all time?
Magic 30 was kind of awesome. I that was like a really good placement for me on a weird modern deck. I was playing Prisontron, which is a strange deck, and I got to play Possessed Portal in a tournament and win games against other like really good players. It was really funny. That deck is so awesome, and I'll probably play it again soon, hopefully.
Yeah, I remember playing Boros Prison a lot. That was like really fun.
I love prison decks.
Oh, for sure. Ensnaring Bridge is like one of my favorite cards in Modern.
Yeah.
I played a lot of Lantern.
Same. I'm a Lantern boy.
You mentioned the Mark Rosewater card. Do you have any other signed cards?
I have a ton of signed cards, but signed by like artists mostly. I'm a big fan of getting artist signatures on cards. Like to me, foil plus artist signature is like peak, right? You can't get better than that. Even more like bonus points if you get an artist proof, which I have a few of. If for those at home who don't know what an artist proof is, it's got a blank white back, but it's a normal magic card on the front.
Yeah.
And each artist is sent only like a set number of them.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's like 500 per artist or something.
Yeah, and I got a, it's not foil, but it's a full art. Oh no, what's that card everyone hates? Dranith Magistrate.
Oh yeah.
It's a full Dranith Magistrate. Yeah, so I went to get it from the artist, and he had labeled it as like $10 or something. And I was like, that's crazy for an artist proof of like this, powerful of a card. And then he gets it and he's like, this isn't $10. And I was like, oh, is it like the wrong sticker? He's like, yeah, it should be 25, but I'll give it to you for 10. And I was like, my man. You went to Vegas, right?
I went to MagicCon Vegas last year.
Yeah.
This being
nice.
2023. I heard 2022 or 2021 MagicCon Vegas was actually like really poorly received. They must have swapped companies or something, because I've never been to a better convention. It was like the best weekend ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So day one, I saw a bunch of people already. I saw Bosch and Roll, Brian Koval. He gave me his like little custom tokens. And then immediately after that, met Kibler and played a game with him. Saffron Olive as well. And I got a signed Kolaghan's command from Brian Kibler, and I got Saffron Olive to sign my Panharmonicon.
Oh, iconic, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's like his card. After that, oh man, what else? There's so much that happened over that weekend. Day two, I had a lovely, amazing talk with Richard Kane Ferguson. I'm a portrait artist, right? So I do painting. And so I was talking to Richard Kane Ferguson about that, and he's like, oh, I'll give you one of my artist proofs, reduced price for a commission on the back. I got Everlasting Torment from Richard Kane Ferguson with the commission on the back. It was like $75 for like it all. It was like, that's typically pretty pricey, but like for Richard Kane Ferguson, that's like on the low end of what he sells his stuff for, which is like, wow, what a blessing, because I love Richard Kane Ferguson's art. The other two things I got was for one of my commanders, one of my more boring decks, Iara. I got that artist proof with a commission on the back from Ryan Pancoast. And I also got Angel of Destiny, which is like the crown piece of my Safara deck. Both artist proofs with commissions on the back. So also on the second day, this is the most probably insane part of the convention for me. I got one of the serialized Swords to Plowshares from MagicCon Vegas. I think I got number 191, which is just insane. Like there's like tens of thousands of people at the MagicCon, maybe less, probably less. But I was like one of 300 to get that. I was in disbelief. Like it was so insane. I brokered it through Star City Ben. You probably seen him posting around on Twitter. He's the guy at Star City Games who helped broker the card off for me. Oh, I almost forgot. Last year, I got even more signatures, like not from artists. I got a few that I like considered needs. Like I got Louis Scott Vargas to sign Night's Whisper. Marshall Sutcliffe, I think it was a extraction specialist.
What is extraction specialist?
It's a new Capenna rare. It was in Vintage Cube for a little while. It was pretty good in like the white weenie beatdown, but it got cut eventually just because like just natural power creep over time.
What do you mean power creep over time? New Capenna wasn't that long ago.
Oh, the cube is fast paced. I got Reed Duke to sign a counter spell of all things. Sadly, I already had Kibler sign the Kolaghan's Command. Otherwise, I would have gotten the Jund player to sign it. Yeah, so those were the signatures. Oh, I almost forgot. Sam from Ristic Studies. I got him to sign a Gaunty Lord of Luxury as well.
Oh, you didn't have him sign a Ristic Study? Tragic.
I didn't have him sign a Ristic Study, no, but I liked his Gaunty video so much, so I had him sign a Gaunty.
The Gaunty video is really... That's a good video.
Yeah, my favorite thing from it, though, was a Joven cosplayer who was like, who am I cosplaying as? And I'll give you some free swag. And I'm like, you're Joven. I forgot the cosplayer's name, but I'll put his Twitter up because I follow him now. I found him on Twitter. But I was like, you're Joven. And he's like, yeah, you're right. And he showed me the only PSA graded 10 Joven. And then
that's awesome.
And then he gave me a Joven pin, like a pin with like the Joven card printed on it.
I've thought about cosplaying as a Skitari for events, just to, instead of face revealing, just to like have people see me in the cosplay.
Gosh, I don't know who I would cosplay as, but I have really long hair, like maybe Ella Domri, but I don't look that old. Tips and conversation with Trinket Mage done. Tell me, have you been to a con before? Do you want to go if you haven't? Tell me about your experience down below in the comments. And until next time, bye. All right. I think I'm out of questions, and I'm done rambling about my previous con experience. I mean,
do you want to announce the pod here?
Do you
want to wait for my collab? It doesn't really matter. We can do either or.
I mean, yeah, we can do it now, I guess. I mean, you can.
Okay.
How should I lead into it? Just like, hey, you know, etc. stuff.
Oh man, we can be funny about it. Like, I hope you enjoyed us yapping. If you want to hear more of that, we're making a podcast.
What if this is just the podcast announcement and it's at the end of the video, like a bonus reel sort of deal?
Oh, like this bit here?
Yeah, like what we're talking like right now, because this is just very genuine instead of forced.
Yeah, sure, that works. We're making a podcast.
Yeah.